Boys and girls, we are going old school, because we are on locale. Shh, not telling you where we are, undisclosed location. But we are VIP setup. We have our own spot back here. There's drinks flowing. Maybe a little devil's lettuce involved in this. But this is stirring the pot with Don Kincaid and an old, good, I just can't believe we are face-to-face, live, in person, not the Skype. Our very special guest, the GMIC, the GMX, the GM of Tested Strength Wrestling out of East Hartford, Connecticut, my man, Alex Rojas.
How you doing?
It's been a minute. That's what the kids say, right?
Yeah,
it's been a minute?
It's been a minute.
A hot minute, right?
It's been a hot
minute. A hot minute. And yeah, and now like one of the fans that frequent the shows, Karen, she always says, "Where's the hole?" And she can never find the hole. So just for reference, way over there to the. Okay, just making sure. Yeah. Just make it, because I don't want you looking down there.
39 years. I never had a problem finding out.
Okay. And we did that in the testing question. So welcome to the show, first off. The acoustics are amazing, so I probably sound like I got Two Buff's megaphone right here, because I kind of talk a little loud. I'm excited, and we're having, good times with the town.
Well, you know TJ Howell the third and his feng shui and sonics and acoustics and divine frequencies and all that hippie mumbo jumbo. So, he just makes sure we're good. We're good. So,
this is much better than Consuelo's little abode that,
Yeah,
to be honest.
It's just not as intimate, though,
No, it isn't. I was outside over at Consuelo's with TJ Howell the third. I don't like to miss. But this is a nice little spot, VIP setup.
She makes a mean chicken wrap.
Oh, chicken wrap, huh?
Amazing. Amazing.
I'm going to sip up.
So it's stirring the pot, and then usually when it's me and you, it's smoking the pot.
Yeah. It's been 3 years, as we mentioned already. And we could just sit here and chit-chat and we've seen each other. It's not like we haven't seen each other in 3 years, but we haven't sat down in 3 years. And I kind of wanted to start right there before we go any further. And I know we're kind of here for some specific reasons, if you want to,
right.
And some specific chit-chat. But I come up with something. I have one brain cell left.
Okay.
And I like to utilize it every so often.
Okay.
I don't do any research, and I never write anything down.
That's right.
I wrote something down.
Get the fuck out of here.
Except I tried to remember. So we're going to do it. This is going to be a test.
I didn't know you could write.
Yeah, no. I didn't. I did it on my notepad. Yeah, see?
There you go. That makes sense.
So what I did was look back at the date, March 18th. Me and you, March 14th, maybe. March 14th, 2020. We last sat down, and that was right after, the week after, Lone Survivor 2.
Yes.
Okay, now, what I did was I jotted a few matches that were there, and I just kind of wanted to,
Let's talk about it.
We're in a time capsule right now.
Let's do it.
Right? TOS. So, back then, I'm just going to start off, Dan the Man. He was the champ back then.
Yes.
And he had the C on the side. He was the champ. He was a tyrant of the champ. We called it the era of Danos.
Yes.
It was horrible for all of us, the fans. It was horrible for yourself as a GM at Tested Strength. You couldn't wait to take that belt off of Dan the Man.
Yes.
And we saw that on your face. We saw that post match every single time.
Oh, me and Dan can't stand each other to this day. So.
Now, his opponent, check this out. Stay with me, okay?
Okay.
His opponent, boys and girls. We know who the mission is. The mission is comprised of Dan the Man, obviously, Patrick Saint. We have Stan Michaels, who's come out of left field, out of nowhere, and come on.
I mean, the mission keeps growing, man. I don't know what to tell you.
But I mean, really, just to pause a second, that guy, Stan Michaels, lots of stuff that makes a wrestler.
What a talent. what a talent.
So let's continue. We don't want to say too. And we have Evie De La Rosa.
Yes.
Okay? And then we have, to round it all off, and I didn't mean to make him last, but he's a little kooky. He's a lot of kooky. One Brother Greatness is all comprised of the mission right now.
Right.
At that time, March 4th or 6th or 8th, 2020, the match was, and boy was it a built match, and we were so behind her, one Evie De La Rosa.
Yes, and it was a great match. The outcome was what it was. a little disappointing, but man, what a showing for Evie, and she had that in the bag, and I tell you all the time, Dan the man, Evie De La Rosa is the best wrestler in the mission, so just be careful who you cross, buddy, you know?
And I just want to add, the handmaids.
The
handmaids.
And my good old friend, the liability, big league Gina Monty.
And I know we might have spoken about this. I'm almost positive we did, because it was that recent, Lone Survivor 2. But just to recap, the handmaids, very, quiet, very to themselves. They have their heads with their bonnets and stuff down,
right.
Not saying a word. You can't see who it is.
No,
Either one of them. There was two of them, handmaids.
What a spectacle, right?
Right? Exactly. Okay? Now, I go rolling up mid-match with my phone, and I'm like, Dr. Gators and Enrique K. Files. I was just seeing if I can find out who the handmaids are. I think I heard a slight snicker under one of those bonnets. I think so. I got zero information during said time, but obviously we found out who they were later on, being one Joanna Robinson and one Blue Shoes, Ref Gina. Now, I talked to both of them after about that, and they said we were dying under there when you came running up. I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, no, Gina can't keep a straight face to save her life.
As recent with Young Boy lately, I saw it on film. It was fun.
It's been so fun. What a great night. Listen, before we get, because I know you want to keep going and talk about it.
No,
before we do that, because I don't want to forget.
We can do whatever we want.
It's been 3 years since I was here, and in 3 years, Test the Strength as a whole has grown, and our talent has grown, and the product has evolved. But before we go anywhere, what I want to say is thank you, Don Kincaid, because I believe in my heart that Test of Strength would not be Test of Strength without you.
Oh, come on.
And your influence and the way that you help us and our boys. It means more than whatever, So, like, just in case y'all need to know, like, Don Kincaid is one of us. Like, he's family. He can walk into the dojo whenever he wants. The man has a key, all right? So, careful. But no, thank you for everything, brother.
I still got it.
I fucking
still got it.
I love you, man, and the boys are, the boys can't praise you enough. So, if anything, you always come home and you're good. And the only person allowed to bully Kincaid is Q, and that's it.
Why would you give that full endorsement like that?
It's just what it is, But that's personal between you two. You know what you did.
Whatever. I didn't start to see that. I've never started all of this. That's what you guys and girls don't know. I don't know if I ever brought that to the table.
You kidnapped little Q.
No.
What do you mean?
That's not the facts. From brotherly love. No, like, for real. That's very heartfelt, and I appreciate those beautiful words, and you're very kind for that.
No, we appreciate you. And Papa Kincaid, too, if you're out there. We love you. We miss you. You need to come home, all right?
He goes out sporadically.
Yeah, I know.
Papa Kincaid's in a new relationship. Are you kidding me?
Yeah? Oh, well, all right. Then do your thing, Pop.
My guy's 72.
Hey,
72.
Hey, us old guys need to rock, too.
Are you kidding me, man? I'm like, yeah. That's why I said, congrats, Pops.
Yeah,
holy cow, man.
Do your thing, Pop.
And he made it a Facebook status. I was like, wow, man, she's making this guy a little young, popping the status on Facebook. Now it's official.
That's good for him. No, now it's for real. It's for real.
So I want to talk about one other match specifically. It was a triple threat. Mm-hmm. And I know this is a roller coaster. Just if you haven't watched STP before, it's a roller coaster. Just take a ride with us, okay?
Yeah, that's it. Buckle up.
The triple threat. Big time. It was such a big fight feel. Not saying, that day in a man, it's the championship. And I love when a championship is on the line on the big events because you need that there.
Right.
Okay? It was a triple threat. One champion at the time, Sammy Diaz. He was the ace back then, part of the firm. Different kind of firm, if you will.
The actual fucking firm.
And then we have one Mike Skyrose. And then we have Moonlight Sun. Then we have one Brian Pillman Jr.
Yes.
Who came in a test of strength and was put into a triple threat for the K1 Kowalski Classic trophy at that time.
That was the trophy at the time. Yeah, it was before the belt.
Yes, that was before the belt. So I wanted to bring that up specifically because, holy fuck.
Yeah.
That match, it'll always be here.
Yeah, and then, there's a lot of history behind that. Like Brian Pillman Sr. was a dungeon guy, was a Stu Hart guy. Kowalski was a Luthez, Stu Hart guy. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of lineage there. So for him to come in and cut his teeth, going for something like the Kowalski Crown, with the guys that he was in there with, it was a big moment for him, and he was a real good brother by coming up and doing that, and he's just giving us a banger, Mike Skyros, what can I tell you about Mike Skyros, man? Mike Skyros, he's one of my four aces. He is one of the pillars of Test of Strength. He is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and one of the best brothers you could ever ask for. I love you, Mike. And he came out and he had an amazing reign as K1 champion, and this was on his way to it, Yeah. So him and Sammy, always had great chemistry. Even recently, the last time they touched, it was money.
It's always good.
Yeah. Those two guys have great chemistry. So to throw in a wrench like Brian Pillman Jr., where it's something completely different. It didn't throw it off at all. It was just the ring generalship of the three. It was a great match. It was a great moment.
And talk about, because I'm going to add to whatever you say, but I want to check, because this is a one-man show. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure we're recording all of this shit. Because just imagine, it would really suck for not getting the beginning of this, but I'd like to double check.
Y'all do what you got to do.
Talk to us about Mike Skyros taking that win in a triple threat.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you never know what's going to happen, right? Because I'm one of those teachers, one of those promoters who's blessed, right? I have as general manager, I think I have the best talent pool on the planet to go from. You know what I mean? Especially between the combination of TOS and the Bell Time Club, because I am the GM of both. So it's beautiful, the options that I have at my disposal, and Sammy Diaz, man, it's like having your own personal Eddie Guerrero. You know what I mean?
He's so well rounded.
He's so good, man. He's so good, and whenever he wants to be the greatest wrestler alive, he can just turn that switch on. So a lot of respect to the ace. Skyros is another ace, man. I'm blessed. Some people have one ace, I have four. So I got a whole deck of cards, with four aces. So. Yeah, man, it meant a lot to see Mike get that hard-fought win, put the Skyfall on a bigger stage, one of the most devastating maneuvers in the scene.
Wow.
Yeah, the Skyfall is...
I just made a GIF of it from Lone Survivor 4,
yes.
By the way.
Yeah, it's just every time you see it, it's like, yeah, it's over.
I was right there. It was perfect.
It's over. It's never, you know what I mean? Like, no, you're not kicking out of that, buddy.
And he gave it to Ricky Smokes, which was beautiful for me.
And Ricky.
Wait, no, was it Ricky or Brother Greatness? No. It could have been Brother Greatness.
I think it was Greatness.
Yeah, I think it was on. Yes, it actually was Greatness.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful end to that story, right? But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to be there and see that happen, and to see the progress that all three of these young men have made. I mean, Pillman, of course, moving on to bigger and better things, and Skyros, who's a champion wherever he goes, and Sammy Diaz, who's had an amazing run with us, who's done amazing, like every time, just matches, like how he was this close to winning the TOS title, last summer from Marcos, so like it's fun, man. It's so much fun to see these guys grow, and that's my favorite part about being GM, so
that's. I speak about it on SCP all the time, watching the young talent grow into when we get to see him on TV. Carmelo Hayes right now, perfect example.
Yeah.
He's been at the dojo. He's been on the training days.
One of our guys.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in a previous life, under a previous name, we don't want Uncle Vinny Mac taxing the STP right now, so because I can't afford that shit. But... this is what I'm talking about, and what we always talk about on STP is watching the young talent go, and I always, time after time, used the firm specifically as Elijah Six, and the Richard E. Stones, and the Jay Bricks, and the Sammy Diaz's. I've used them for examples many a time in this instance for this topic, just because we see this... Elijah Six specifically.
Yeah.
This kid was he's just a fucking kid coming into wrestling and trying to make a career out of himself. And you see him grow, and you see what he could do back then, but what he can do now. Right. And it goes on for all of the talent that we watch grow in front of us.
The growth is so visible. I mean, physically you could see him grow. You see him mature from a young boy to a man. You know what I mean? To me, that's crazy. Elijah 6 is like one of my sons. You know what I mean? Like, as a matter of fact, we go places and I got him and Jeter. People think that he is my son. It's hilarious. But yeah, to see him get more cerebral with the way that he wrestles, more methodical, more explosive, to put on some size. To just the way that he's evolved as a human being and as a character. It's beautiful. So the sky's the limit for Elijah 6.
And a couple things. You personally, I know, are definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Elijah 6 fan.
Oh, of course,
on this planet.
Yeah, no. Elijah 6 is, I named him the GOAT already. I knew that when he was 16 years old. Like, I wasn't lying. Like, he's better than your favorite wrestler. That's not a catchphrase. That's the God honest truth.
And he's returning.
Yeah.
Making a return, if you will. He's been on a hiatus for a minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we talk about mental stuff on SDP a lot. You got to gather yourself a little bit. You've got to get away.
Sometimes you gotta step away from what you love to appreciate it the right way. And that's why he took a little time away from the in-ring, really, but not from the business, because that kid is a student of the game. You know what I mean? He's always watching film. He's always, he's his biggest critic. So he'll go back and he'll break down all his matches and see what he could have did better. Where he's that type of person. So he just needed a quick break to get his mind right, and he's back on it, and it's almost like he never left. I mean, you just seen him at 2TW,
and he won a championship.
That's right. First match back, the man's a champ. What can you say about it?
I see. Again, he's going to be making a return. The poster, if you will, the map. Is it it's a poster, right, with the Elijah 6 thing for 2TW?
Right? For 2TW, yes.
Great to see him back on the scene.
Yeah.
Really good.
And he's gonna be better than ever. It's like the hunger in his eyes now is insane. I love it. It's like a dog unchained.
You can definitely tell there is a difference with one Elijah 6, who, by the way, himself and Jay Brooks, they came on Center Ring and they called it and took it over and called it Center 6. Like, that surprises you, right?
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all.
And I want to talk about one specific other thing before we move on here, away from Lone Survivor 2.
Okay.
Now, we are still talking March 2020, okay? This is 3 years ago, and he's kind of returned very sporadically in a different way, if you ask me personally. Some will say no, some are saying yes. That was the day. The infamous date, and it's like May 8th or something, or May 4th.
I want to say it was May 5th.
It's somewhere around there.
Or March 5th.
March. I'm sorry, not May. March.
That's the Chiba talking.
One Ryan Frost, one TJ Howell III, one Drake Evans, and one Aubrey. They all came out, and collectively, with Ryan Frost and TJ Howell at that time, they were known as Cold Cash.
Right.
And they used to piss us off every single time they came out, and they were always known for doing nefarious shit.
Yeah.
Now, talk about nefarious. They ripped my guy, J-Bro. They ripped his face clean off in front of us. And we haven't seen him in damn near 3 years until just a few months back.
And I don't even know if that's the same guy.
It definitely isn't. He's some...
Yeah, no, I don't...
You can tell by the hairy legs. But up here...
It's just, I don't know.
You can definitely tell by those gorilla...
Maybe Red Sawyer's right, and he's one of those replacement lizard people.
It's a big evil. Oh my God, that whole thing... don't get me going on that.
Oh, that guy's freaking out. He's freaking out, dude.
But we saw my man J-Bro get his face ripped off. And I did a campaign I tried to get many of the talent out there. Did a little digging. One Ref Gina, my favorite probably of all of them. Trying to look for J-Bro. Oh my God, hilarious. There was a campaign out there, hashtag, and all in capital letters, and it was kind of long. Where in the world is El Jabroni? But he's back.
Yeah, I think.
And
maybe.
I seen the footage when he came back, because I wasn't there at Fight for Dreams 4.
4.
And I was so stoked.
Which you still got heat with me.
Yeah, I know. Why did I bring that up?
Yeah.
But then he made a showing at Training Day, and him and Danny Adam used to be a tag team, ish, if you will, in TOS specifically.
They were friends. We had
And
each other's back for a while.
but J Bro comes in after a Danny Adam match, and Danny Adam was kind of weird for, in the middle of the ring there, and J Bro came in and fucked him up.
Yeah.
And then left. I was so happy. He ran right by me, gave me no hug. Gave me no, hey, Kate! He gave me nothing.
He didn't bring you a Coke?
He gave me nothing.
That's crazy.
What they call in the business, he no-sold me.
He did.
So, I seen him one more time, and same exact thing happened, but he's doing some weird shit, and I don't know who that is.
Yeah, last time I saw him was at Real Recognized Heel, where he almost crippled TJ.
Yeah.
That was scary. Thank God that when your dad's a billionaire, you can afford the best orthopedic surgeons on the planet.
Wow.
Cryogenic chambers and all of that nonsense.
That didn't really pain my heart that much to see that, to be honest with you.
You're a stone cold killer.
But let's since I was mentioned, we've talked Lone Survivor, and back then when we last talked 3 years ago, enough. I would say we could little time capsule right there.
No,
right?
It's a good trip down memory lane.
Goodness, good times. You just mentioned Real Recognized Heel. I said it right for the first time.
There you go. It rolls off the tongue if you let
it did, yeah. And we had a hell of a time.
Yeah.
It was hashtag, if you will.
Yes.
Why don't you kind of talk to the fans what it was and the ambiance and the fans that came out and the talent that came out and the whole thing that was Real Recognized Heel.
It was special, man. It was special. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. It wasn't just an event, you know what I mean? It just wasn't a TOS show. It wasn't something that we did. And in reality, I had very little to do with it. It was a thank you to me from all the boys that in the relationships that we built, and then the mutual favors that we've done for each other. It was a celebration for me. It was an appreciation night, and I'm so humbled, man. I'm so humbled by it. It's amazing. And even the people that couldn't come, the messages that I received. It was spectacular, man. I don't know how else to put it. It was like, that good dream that you always have that you wake up from and you're fucking pissed that you woke up. It's that, man, but it really happened. It was that. It was amazing. I got to see all my people there. My good friend Dante Luna came all the way from Boston and filmed the whole thing.
Always special when Dante shows up.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think you guys understand, getting Dante Luna to show up is like Martin Scorsese.
Dude, I'm telling you, his schedule is just insane. I can't even imagine.
So he pulled up, and the fact that he did that for me, man, I'll never forget. And then Bo Douglas was there, my big brother Bo, and Wags and Frosty and you and Foggy, man. I love you, Foggy. Thank you, man. All my boys were there. It was an amazing night. All the wrestling was on fire. Another one of my aces, Alec Price, came and had a banger and a half with Sammy Diaz. Ichiban could not make it. He was sick. He had the flu. He couldn't make it that night.
Like the Asian flu?
That's racist, Kincaid.
I'm just asking.
Just a regular flu.
Okay.
Just a regular all-American
okay.
Waterbury, Connecticut flu. All right? God damn.
Okay.
So he couldn't make it, so I didn't get the dream match of Tom Santel versus Ichiban, but
I know you really wanted
but that one's coming. Don't worry about it. They're gonna make it up.
All right, cool.
So man, it was really cool. The Boston Red Sox, man. Thank you guys. You guys didn't have to do that, and you did. So I'm super grateful. Drew Kazoo, who is not only the voice of Test of Strength, but one of the best brothers on the planet. I can't say enough about what you and Beth did for me. So I love y'all, man, for real.
A lot of love on that show.
Yeah. That's all it was. It was a love celebration.
Good times.
Great times. Wrecking Ball and Patrick Saint had a hot
dude.
What a fight. Thank you, Wrecking Ball, man. Wrecking Ball Ligursky held it down, man. Dude. That was awesome.
I hate to sound cold-blooded, as you said earlier.
Real quick, House of Glory, thank you so much. Thank you to the amazing Red and Brian XL for letting Mantequilla and a bunch of the students come up and do that night too, man. That was super special. That was big brother shit. I really appreciate it.
I love Mantequilla. He's like smooth as butter.
Oh yeah.
So good. He
did the thing.
I almost wish that Wrecking Ball maybe put Mr. Patrick Saint up on the show for a little bit, because
he tried.
This guy.
Listen, man, you can say whatever you want about
this guy.
You can say whatever you want about Patrick Saint, but he's probably the most impressive specimen in indie wrestling right now.
And he'll tell you.
Listen, man, this guy. I remember when I re-signed him. Thanks to TJ Howell II, he got that big bonus. So when I re-signed him, he gave me a hug, man, and it still hurts to breathe sometimes.
It's ridiculous. I don't know if it's as bad. Back in the day, and I'm talking maybe black and white days, when me and Q were good. And he would give you a hug, and I've spoken about his hugs on STP. His hugs.
Q's a good hugger.
Dude. Yeah. Good?
Yeah, he's amazing hugger.
That dude's crazy. Oh my God.
The only person ever to give me a bigger hug than Q and Pat Saint would have to be Big Jim Anderson.
Oh my goodness.
When Jim hugged you, man, you disappeared. like Ryan Frost is a big guy. So if you take two Ryan Frosts and you sew them together, you get half of a Big Jim. My girl's calling me. I'll call you back, babe. I'm sorry. Shit. I got heat now.
Oh goodness. We're talking talent though. The names you list off. Memories just fly back and you remember maybe a match or a post event or an intermission or a pre-event or setting up the ring with, but all of these memories I always speak of on STP constantly when it comes to wrestling, and us the fans taking them home with us. Right now, I asked the talent, I go, are you guys on the same boat as us, the fans, when we're driving home? And me and Papa Kincaid, and we're like, bah, 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 bah. You guys have to be kind of doing the same thing, but from a different view.
Well, listen, here's the thing, right? As professionals and what we do, we're our own biggest critics. It's not just Elijah Six. Like, it's really all of us. We can't ever rest our laurels on what we did. We're always thinking about what we're going to do next. So, in that sense, as far as the matches go, we don't really get to enjoy them the way that y'all do. But the way you guys remember stories is the way that we remember your reactions to the stories.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because that's what we live for, man. That's what we are. We're a bunch of emotional DJs, and you're there for the ride, and we need to get that emotion from you. If you ever go to a wrestling event and you're not having a good time, it's because there's no emotion between the performer and the crowd. Once you have that, man, it's magic. It never goes away. Whether it's anger or joy, like it doesn't matter. That emotion is what keeps you alive. What keeps you there. I remember the emotion in the building when the Firm beat the Kowalski guys for the tag team belts. Like,
that was a big one.
That was a big moment.
That was a big one.
I'll never forget that. Skyros versus Ichiban was insane.
When you mention the Kowalski guys, that is Jay Freddy and Slick Wagner
Brown. Right. Blue Thunder Jay Freddy, the pro wrestling grind champion.
Current, yes.
Yes, current. Dude hasn't lost a step.
No.
Dude, he's so good. Shout out to Jay Freddy, man. I feel bad for whoever got to fight him next. But yeah, man, it was the Ichiban moment was really big. Frosty winning the Test of Strength championship, like it was twofold, right? Like, it was extreme joy, like we were as happy as we ever been. We're in the locker room. The guys are in the locker room, like shedding tears, jumping up and down, because our guy finally did it. And and then when it was taken away, the disappointment, man, it was like coming home and finding out your dog died.
Anything I posted about that match, I always included roller coaster in there somewhere. emotional roller coaster
Was a-
because holy Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. What an event. What a night. It's crazy because it went from the loudest pop of all time, like the crowd going through the roof, nuts, to a stunned silence.
Some angry people too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying. There was some angry
No, that's what I mean. Like they were so angry though
Yeah.
that it was quiet.
Yeah.
And
like I'll go to a different place
Right.
from now on since you just effed me out of what you just did.
It was
that pissed.
They were upset. But at the same time, I think as upset as you guys were, it's one of those moments that you'll never forget.
No.
And overall, I think you had an amazing time that night, and I am grateful that you were there and be able to share that moment with you because it's one of those that I'll take with me forever. And then for me personally, you know, this past week,
very recently, I was hoping you'd get there
to finally be able to wrap the belt around the waist of Wagner Brown, you know, like
taking out Marcos. Thank goodness, right?
Listen, 500. I'm not the biggest Marcos fan, and I hated having to do that intro in Spanish. You know, that's why every time, like, if you guys go back and watch it, every time
the face.
I said he was from a different town in Puerto Rico too. I ruined it every time. That was my little jab at him. I have to do it. That doesn't mean I have to do it right. 554 days he was Test of Strength champion.
That sounds horrible when you say it out loud.
But at the same time, I mean, think about the quality of that reign. You know,
good times.
Amazing title defenses, great matches, amazing stories, sold out buildings left and right,
and a brand new championship. Yeah. Now, I've always, when it comes to uniqueness and fire titles, I always talk Test of Strength. And I take no slight from anybody else, and there's many others that I also speak of. But just because I'm around them a lot, and especially when they very first came out, oh my goodness, I couldn't stop sharing pictures of these fucking things. But that new championship, I've had this thing in my hands, boys and girls. It's big, it's heavy, and it's blinged the F out.
It's magnificent.
It's huge, and it's just an amazing looking championship visually. It absolutely is.
Yeah, it is.
So that came during Marcos' championship. Now, I've always wanted to ask you this: was that design built because of the bling? That's what I was kind of assuming. Was that geared to Marcos?
No.
It was just a vision that
it was just the idea that I had for it, and that's what I wanted to do. But I mean, all the diamonds and gold in the world don't mean anything if what it represents doesn't mean anything. And you know, Marcos ended a magnificent reign in that of Karen Bam Bam and superseded it. You know, like it was a pretty belt. Marcos made it a magnificent title. Regardless of how you feel about him,
he looks good.
I have to respect.
He looks fantastic. He looks like a professional wrestler.
The guy's a star, and he performs, and he goes out there and he leaves it all in the ring every single time. So, because of his dedication and his drive, and he probably won't tell you this because, you know, he's all of the machismo and the bravado, but I think that being the Test of Strength champion was something that was very special to Marcos, and he wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he was deserving of that title, and that it meant more to him than just being the champion of a promotion. You know, I
know we kind of went on a side note because, again, we start speaking to talent, these things come up, right? So we're celebrating Slick Wagner Brown. Seeing the reign of Marcos was almost as good as seeing the reign of Danos done. Right. That's how I think to perceive it, because it was the lengthy championship reign. Right. I love that because it pisses us off when it's the bad guy. Holy shit! But that's an emotional roller coaster we speak of.
Right.
So Marcos, he gets pinned.
Yes.
We're all celebrating. Measy and Frosty celebrate in ring.
Yes.
You're in ring. I believe there was something about to be said.
Yeah. Well, I went in and I was gonna do, you know, every night I do the go home, and I put the belt on Wagner, and I'm waiting for him to do his champion bow and take over and send the crowd home, and then what happened completely caught me off guard. You know, I don't even know what to say about it, honestly.
Talk about the fans being pissed.
Oh man, they were pissed, and they're pissed at me.
Well, you're the GM.
Well, they're really pissed at me, and I had nothing to do with that. Like I didn't know, but at the same time, I'm in a bad position either way. I'm in between a rock and a hard place. I mean, that's my best friend. That's Ryan Frost, but that's my brother, my business partner, my teacher, my mentor. That's Slick Wagner Brown. You know, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm asking him why. You know, and he's that look in his eye I haven't seen in 20 years. I mean,
so Ryan Frost on one side, the right side of Slick, Measy on the left side, and Measy has the kendo stick and the championship, or Slick had the championship on, and all of a sudden, Slick Wagner Brown clotheslines Ryan Frost. Like, holy shit, did he clothesline Ryan Frost? We lose our shit. Now he's going on and on, you know, there's some stuff, and Measy just hands over. Now Big Measy has been hanging with Ryan Frost as his right-hand man for a while, well over a year and a half. I don't really know how long. He would know better, but it's been a minute. And then Measy hands over the kendo stick to Slick Wagner Brown, and Slick Wagner Brown takes it upon himself to start decimating Ryan Frost with this damn thing. And GM. Mm-hmm. Brutality.
Yeah.
Not only that, getting on the mic after, you know, he beat Ryan Frost down, and Measy just stood there and can I say something?
Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
Measy's in the ring in the corner, and he's laughing, you know, maybe a little smirk here and there.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
Slick Wagner Brown is cracking Frosty with his own kendo stick. Measy is holding the championship, by the way, at that point, yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
In another turnbuckle, you were like...
I'm in... I mean, if you go back and watch the video, I'm in shock. Like, I don't know what's going on. You know, like what is this? Like, see, you got to understand, me and Wagner, we spend a lot of time together, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we talk a lot. You know, we be in the car together. We talk about a lot, and we talk about what Frosty means to Test the Strength, and outside of Ryan Frost, the performer, you know, Ryan Frost behind the scenes, and everything that he means to us as an organization, you know, the roles that he plays. So to see all that is it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me because I know the regard in which we hold him at. And then at the same time, like, for me to see Wagner so out of character,
that totally flipped us all
because
out.
you don't understand. Like, I don't know how it comes off on camera, but I'm 5'8". Wagner is 6'3", 240. He is a huge man.
He's a big dude. Be swinging that kendo.
You know, and what is my little old ass supposed to do in that situation?
All right, I'll give you that.
You know?
Okay.
But it's not just that. It's the fact that he's 6'3" and he's 240 and he had that look in his eye. Like, I'll never forget it. I've never seen him there.
No, I don't think the fans, in the time that we've been going...
I know that Measy and Wagner go back 20 years. I know that Measy has been Wagner's manager in 3 different decades now. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a relationship there. What I don't understand is what could have happened that made Me's turn on Frosty, but also Me's corrupt Wagner to have the same perception. Mm. And that's the thing that we need to find out, because that does not sit right with me.
Well, oddly enough, got another big show coming up in April. Dear Norma 3.
Actually, April we're doing Training Day 39. Dear Norma got pushed to May. We're going to do May, first week of May.
Yes. Well, that changes the whole complexity of everything because there was only one match listed for Deer Number 3 being in April. Okay, now that's right around the corner, boys and girls. It was Ryan Frost versus El Champion.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I shouldn't say that no more, huh? The champ.
Yeah.
Slick Wagner Brown, along with Measy.
Right.
So, give us. Are we getting some inside scoop here? Are you?
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, I can't let that stand.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
It's like I don't know where Wagner stands on this whole thing. I don't know his side of the story. But I know that I was betrayed that night. I was put in a position that I shouldn't have been in, and like I said, man, if anybody deserves the opportunity to become champion, again, would be Ryan Frost, and I don't think anyone here can argue.
No, you can't deny that.
Yeah. So, this time, I don't know, man. I think Frosty takes it. I think that I think in a way that what happened to Frosty is a blessing, right? Because you brought up Cold Cash, Lone Survivor 2, right? Ryan Frost used to be the meanest, baddest, smartest, hardest artist in the ring.
God, did we boo the piss out
He
of
was
him?
a monster.
He was a monster.
He was a monster. He had this aggressive streak, and as much as I love all of you guys and the Frost Force and the fans being behind him, I kind of feel like y'all made him a little soft.
Would you ever imagine, if we can just, for a second, would you ever imagine, and I would not, Ryan Frost would have an entire fan base.
Yeah.
Like, it just culminate organically.
Right.
But not only that, they come regularly.
Oh, man, they follow him wherever he goes.
Is this insane or what?
It's insane. It's insane.
Ryan Frost.
It's insane. You're always saying the mission is a cult. The Frost Force is a cult.
He said it, Joey G, not me, man.
I love you, Joey, man.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but it strikes me.
Yeah.
Just talking the history of Ryan Frost. So his first match, it was him and Dirtbag Dan in a tag team match.
That's right.
And
it was a good match.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but son of a bitch, he was an asshole then. But now, it's something different.
Yeah.
Now, and just as I'm talking,
it's funny that Ryan Frost is gonna wrestle Wagner Brown in the main event, of Deer Norma, right? But he was also Wagner Brown. Wagner Brown was also his first main event. Frosty's first main event was at Fenway Park.
Yes.
Was at Fenway Park, and it was a three-way with Wagner Brown, and Smart Mark Sterling.
Oh wow, okay.
So what a hell of a debut for the rookie kid, right?
Excuse me, yeah.
So Boston debut with Fenway Park against Wagner Brown and Smart Mark Sterling.
And I still see the talent share those memories of the Fenway stuff because they really felt that special to be there.
Oh man, we're going back.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be great,
Just keeping with the theme of what you've got going on, Training Day. Now, Deer Norma gets pushed back to May. Now, is it still Frost versus Slick Wagner Brown?
It's still Frost versus Slick Wagner.
At Deer Norma 3.
Yes.
3.
Deer Norma 3.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's still on the card.
That's still on the card.
Okay, so there's no Training Day culmination there or whatever.
Listen,
okay.
There is no way in hell that match does not happen.
No. I wasn't, but you never know. I mean, which to me, I mean, this is going to be a big task for Ryan. And I know Ryan Frost is a big son of a bitch. But this is going to be a big task, obviously. You know as well as I do.
I mean, this is his biggest task. Does it get bigger than the King?
Not right now, especially being the champion.
Yeah, no.
So I guess, having a Training Day in between is probably beneficial more for Ryan Frost to get prepared.
I did that because I feel like both men needed it's more so Frosty needed some time to get his mind right after all that.
Okay.
I mean, it still feels like it just happened today.
Yeah.
Right? The feeling's still heavy. Betrayal is real strong. So I know that it's an emotionally charged environment, and I feel like I had to do this just to give him a little more time to mentally prepare for the magnitude of this match.
Now, we were talking earlier about how the vantage point, we see it the way we see it. You guys see it in a different way live.
Right.
When you look back at the footage, it's a different thing, and especially if you're hanging together watching the footage.
Right.
I absolutely love a Jordan Rowe face, a Brother Greatness face, a Slick Wagner Brown face.
Super animated. Super animated.
And you get to zoom in and maybe capture some cool little screenshots or whatever.
Yeah, look at his eyes when he was hitting Frosty with that cane. That was
wild eye.
Yeah,
wild eye.
It scared me, man. It scared me.
So we've been talking a little bit about what's coming up. Now, we talked about the real hashtag Real Recognize You. Again, that's like the third time.
Go play the lotto after that.
I wasn't able, and I'm probably going to bring better, I wasn't able to make Fight for Your Dreams 4. And I know there was some special happenings and special things that happened there. Can we maybe turn the clock back a little bit? Because I know that's what, Fight for Your Dreams, boys and girls. That is the Test of Strength WrestleMania. Yeah. That is
that is our biggest event.
Their big deal right there. So if you ever see
our season finale every year.
Yeah, if you ever see Fight for Your Dreams, what's the next one? Will be 5. Just know that's the big one.
Next is 6. We just did 5.
5. 6?
We just did 5.
5. Oh, I was at 4. Okay, 6. See, that's what I'm saying. Holy shit.
Yeah.
There's...
Yeah. You've been on a long ride with us, man.
Coming up to Fight for Your Dreams 6.
That's Fight for Your Dreams 6.
Oh my God. Blue Shoes coming back.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch upon that.
That was big. It doesn't feel right if Blue Shoes isn't on the card, at Fight for Your Dreams. But at the same time, every single match that I've ever put her in at Fight for Your Dreams has been a disaster, Gina Blue Shoes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. There was a surprise. Yes. At the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a lone survivor or a undeniable or something like that, where the lights kind of went out and there was a hooded figure in the ring, and it was Blue Shoes. We haven't seen her in a long ass time.
Right.
The pop.
Oh yeah.
That we gave.
Stone Cold pop.
Dude. Holy shit sticks.
Ever since we can't tell her nothing. She's Kanye West. Fucking big league Gina Monty.
But that's, oh my God.
Big league. Big league.
You know what and then I'm sure it didn't start there, but there was a point where I was doing a show and doing little promos pre-show, and Gina just came in from Chikara and she was like, blah, 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 and who was there but Ty Shine?
Right.
And he's like, oh, Big League Monty gotta fly in, from Chikara, kind of thing.
5 fucking Shine, man. How I love Ty Shine, man. Honestly, Ty Shine is another one of the cornerstones of TOS. Like, we wouldn't be here without him. That's the person that I actually designed the Test of Strength Championship for. And I always thought that Ty Shine was going to be our very first Test of Strength champion. The first match I wanted to book for that title, before we ended up doing the tournament and all that. But the first match, it was going to be between my 2 top students. It was going to be Ty Shine versus world-class Channing Thomas.
Wow.
That was going to be the original Test of Strength Championship match.
That would have been good.
And it's one that is still on my bucket list. And I'm definitely going to bring that to you all because the world deserves that.
Nice. I would be down for that.
Yeah.
You have, like I mentioned Ricky Smokes earlier, you get the likes of a Ricky Smokes. You get the likes of a Dirty Dango.
Right.
Which he just went against Bobby Ocean.
A great match.
Good stuff.
And Ricky Smokes, I know he's a jerk, man. I know that he's brash, and I know that he's cocky, but what an upside on that kid. And charisma.
Full of talent.
Just crisp work. Great talent. He's a lot better than these guys on TV that think they're the greatest thing going.
So just hanging out, shooting this shit, and putting over some of the talent is okay for a couple minutes here as we continue? Right?
Let's go.
I want to talk about Ichiban number 1. Now, just for the reason because he came out of nowhere, and he rose to the top very quick.
Right.
And he just stays on fire no matter what promotion he goes to.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, he's great. That's one of the Ichiban. A lot of people don't know that Ichiban is
I'm just gonna double check, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you continue, Ichiban.
Ichiban is one of those things that our relationship with Hal Enterprises actually resulted in. You've heard of the UFC Fight Island. Well, before there was a UFC Fight Island, it was a Howell estate, and I got flown out there for the Kumite, and there was this young warrior just destroying people left and right, and he beat 10 guys in one night, and it's like, I need this guy, so I go to talk to him, and I don't speak a word of Ichinese at the time.
Okay.
Like now, I got the Rosetta Stone, and I've been practicing.
Yeah.
But
a couple times now.
Yeah. So now we can have a conversation. But at the time, I didn't know what he was saying, and his translator was a bit of a jerk. But
wait, Ichiban had a translator?
Well, yeah. That's the guy that booked him for the Kumite.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That makes sense.
Like Ichinese, like 13 people on the planet speak Ichinese. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's tough to find the guy. So through him we talked, and Chija Howell II facilitated the funding, and we signed Ichiban and brought him over, and dude, it's like amazing. What can we say about Ichiban?
He's been, and I'm gonna get back to Fight for Your Dreams. Ichiban has been for a minute, and you would know better than me. The K1 Kowalski Classic champion. Now it's a beautiful title, and it's got like
it's got the Kowalski claw.
Beautiful.
It's Walter's hand.
What a cool design. And when people share that, and I've noticed, when the fans, even the talent, they'll be like, that's an eye-catching.
Yeah.
Or what a beautiful belt. Or
yeah, you can see that from space.
Yeah.
It's one of, you know what? It is my favorite out of all of them. It's my favorite, but it's my favorite, and it's my favorite because of what it represents. The legacy of Killer Kowalski. The fact that the Bell Time Club and the Test of Strength logos are both on that belt. It's the double dojo title. It's the Kowalski crown. It means so much to so many people. That the legacy that it represents even supersedes the legacy that it creates. So the K1 title is definitely my favorite one, and I think it's given us the best, most competitive matches in the history of Test of Strength. Something about competing for that title makes the people who compete for it excel.
And I mean, we could talk Skyros reign. What an amazing reign. I want to go through just a short list of champions, because it's not one of these hot potato things that gets passed around.
It's not.
So we will go through, and I'd like to, because there's not that many. We can just go right through them. But the reign that Ichiban is on right now.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit sticks.
What a run.
How long has he been in the K1 right now?
You know what? This is one that I wish Jeter was here for. It's a little less than Marcos's reign. I want to say it's 515 days.
Okay.
I could be wrong there. My son would know exactly. He's the stats guy. So I'm not exactly sure, but man, what a run. And when you talk about lineage and legacy and what it means, I mean, he took the ball and ran with it. Greatness started it off, and then Sammy took it and elevated, and then Skyros took it and brought it to another atmosphere, and then I feel like Ichiban grabbed it, and it's got to be the most sought after title in at least the Northeast right now, if not all of indie wrestling. The talent that steps up for it.
Yeah.
The people that comment about it, the people that want it. I mean, Jacob Fatu wants it. And it's one of those things where it's gonna keep growing, and Ichiban is such a huge part of that. He takes that thing everywhere. That's his baby, and he's given everybody the best match they've ever had while competing for it. And I mean, think about the guys that he's faced from all over the place. I mean, he just gave us a banger with the Silver Sniper. You know what I mean? Him and TJ, what a great match.
I haven't seen TJ in a minute. It's been a while, because he was down for injury.
He was down for a while, and he came back, but he came back stronger. I think sometimes getting hurt is a blessing. He
looks fantastic.
He's in great shape. He's mentally sharper. His strikes look more. They just look more perfect, more aligned. He's just sharper, man. Like, the sky's the limit for TJ. But I mean, even the dream matches that it's given us, like you want to talk about fight for your dreams. Well, I mean, what was the marquee match? It was Ichiban versus Low Ki.
I wasn't there.
And Ichiban versus Low Ki was a bucket list match for me. And man, did it deliver. Like they gave us 3 matches, really. You know what I mean? Those guys. And I can't wait to run that back. And I know that Low Ki has a chip on his shoulder because he didn't pin Ichiban. So
it must have pissed him off.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be great when it happens. And the sky's the limit for Ichiban and where he's going. And honestly, there's no short list of people who want to come and challenge him for the K1. So they're gonna keep coming as long as he stays champ. But I don't see anyone beating him for that, man. It's like he's like the Undertaker at WrestleMania with that thing. It's nuts.
We've seen him do some crazy stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it seems like every match he's got something new. Every single match is something we didn't see before.
Now, I know they're not your students from scratch, but they've come through TOS. They've kind of made TOS a stomping ground for themselves, being collectively Miracle Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Dustin Flash Waller, Kylon King.
Those are my guys.
Now, the reason why I bring them up is, A, they're your current and two-time TOS Tag Team Champions. The only, right?
The only 2-time TOS champions, period.
Ever. For any championship.
For any title.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have this relationship on the outside of TOS, Wrestling Open and a couple other places with Ichiban.
Oh yeah, the Miracle Ones, man. They're great. Love the Miracle Ones, man. Love the Miracle Ones. You can see them live on IWTV. Shout out to the Miracle Ones.
Talk to us about the likes of having, Dustin Waller and Kylon King right now. Talk about being on fire. Talk about being young and hungry and spreading their wings and doing the drives with these kids. Right. I mean, come on now.
And like I said earlier, it's just it's similar to the Elijah 6 situation. Seeing Flash grow up. I mean, Flash is a thin kid, but I mean, he used to look like you,
dude.
You know what I mean? And now he's in the gym and he's getting jacked up. And he gets bigger and better every day, man. Unbelievable drive. I've seen him do some amazing things. Him and Leo Rush had an amazing match.
Both have in a respect.
Yeah, no, they both had bangers. They both had actually pretty close to one another. They had amazing matches against Leo Rush. Collectively, man, they've done some amazing things. They're the current IWTV Tag Team Champions. They're the current Remarkable Tag Team Champions. Like you said, they're our current TOS Tag Team Champions. They got more belts, man, but
Wrestling Open.
Well, no, they have the.
It's like a thing.
The Eliminator.
Yeah.
The Eliminators Tag Team Champs.
PvP.
They have the PvP titles. They beat the freaking Closers.
The Closers.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
These guys are insane, man. I mean, but it doesn't surprise me that they beat the Closers. I mean, they beat the Firm. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are good. They're good, man. They're good. I love Kylon King, man. And Flash is the baby bro, man. He was Big Jim Anderson's little brother, and Big Jim always told me to look out for him, and I always will, man. It's family.
Flash still has yet to watch, and will never. Spoken to Flash, we'll never watch the match between him and Big Jim.
Yeah,
I've watched it, and
it was a great match.
That is the night, and I know not all the talent or some of the talent will even remotely check this out, but Mr. Waller, that is the night that my dad just went from Flash Waller to Flash Waller. I respect that motherfucker.
Flash Waller.
Just like that, and that's in that match.
No, he earned his stripes.
It takes one of those matches.
Yeah, he earned his stripes that night, man. But yeah, man, Flash is so good. Flash is so good. The sky's the limit, and then Kylon, man. Kylon, I don't even want to say that he's better, because I don't want to start anything. But Kylon, right now, he's on this mean streak, man, and he's on this other level. His in-ring stuff has gotten so good. He's got perhaps the best bridge in wrestling.
Amazing. Yes.
His suplexes are gorgeous. I named him the Saiyan suplex machine. Because he just fires up and tosses people.
Can we say when he jumps to the ropes for a suicide suicide dive that this fucking kid goes
at
out
100
like
miles
a cannon
an hour?
every single time?
Oh man. And that moonsault, that rope walk moonsault to the outside, it's like, dude, like they don't make buildings high enough. Like, stop that, Great talent, man.
Flash does that nice corner dive over.
Yeah, he loves the corner tope. He's beautiful.
Cool. Yeah.
The Mamba Splash, I always pop for. I always pop for the Mamba Splash.
They're on fire.
They're on fire, man. They're on fire. They just got back from California right before they did our show.
Yep.
They're all over the place, man. Sky's the limit to those kids. I'm grateful that they're the Test of Strength Tag Team Champions. I'm proud of them and the reign that I know that they're gonna have. I know that Lucas Chase and Danny Miles got the short end of the stick because of Danny's injury. But if I know Danny Miles, he's gonna come back angry. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
So the previous champions in Test of Strength was the Cure, Lucas Chase, and Danny Miles. They were the champions, but Danny Miles was out for injury and still is out with injury.
Yep. Tore his MCL.
And Fancy Ryan Clancy came in, which I was kind of surprised. We've seen, Fancy
amazing talent
at TOS.
Yes, amazing talent.
But I was like Lucas Chase and Danny Miles, and I was like Lucas Chase, and I know he's kind of he got a build and stuff, but I was just like, visually I wasn't getting it. But when I seen them together, they were working fantastic.
Right.
That was surprising to me.
Fancy Ryan Clancy is probably the strongest guy in any locker room. You just can't. You don't know that.
Okay.
He's like. You know how they always say that Antonio Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, he's
pound for pound.
Deceptively strong, or pound for pound. I feel like Clancy is that type of athlete. Like, he is so strong, man. Like, the only person I think I've ever seen stronger than him in a locker room is probably Big Bacon Brad Hollister. We call Brad Lesnar. He's a beast. But yeah, and then Danny Miles is another guy that I can't say. Danny Miles is a super powerhouse.
That chain is just so...
That chain weighs more than like 3 of you.
Oh, easily 3 of me. Probably 5 of me, maybe. We've been chit-chatting talent. Now, boys and girls, on the show, we talk promotions. We talk talent. We lift up said talent, and we try to get just a little tiny of a spotlight, whatever I can do for this show, and bring it to the talent so we can get even 2 more eyes, just one set, 2 more eyes to take a peek and type in the old keyboard a Danny Miles, a Lucas Chase, an Elijah Six, an Alec Price. Some of these names, rewind if you have to. I'm telling you, it's worth your while, especially if you're an avid wrestling fan that's checking this out.
Right.
And because we just named, and for the past, I don't even know how long we've been talking, probably at least all of an hour.
Probably.
We've rattled off some really spectacular talent.
Yes.
So if you have to, just rewind. Maybe jot them down or type them as you go through. You don't have to listen to us again for all of it, but I'm just telling you, I implore you to check out this talent that we speak of, the places that we speak of, the promotions. Give yourself a new light, a new avenue to check out different talent that you haven't before.
Right. And there's talent out there, man, that are just going to take it to the next level. I'm blessed to have a lot of those guys. I think Patrick Saint is one of those guys. Mark Alexander is amazing. Amazing.
Oh, Mark Alexander, referee.
Yeah, money Mark Alexander. Never mind referee Mark Alexander, the talent, the professional wrestler.
But
Mark Alexander, what an explosive talent, man. The kid is just pure excitement.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but that just shows that, and I'm not saying you have to be a referee to become a wrestler.
No.
And not all wrestlers do that, but some do.
But here's the thing. We believe, and this is a Kowalski philosophy, that everybody should be able to do everything, because we don't take anyone for granted. Like, the referee is just as important as the ring announcer. The ring announcer is just as important as the commentary. Commentary is even more important than the main event. You know what I mean? So like, we are all an ecosystem, and we should all be able to step in each other's shoes so we can understand what that means, you know, and really value who we are.
And I didn't mean to take anything away from Money Mark.
No. Money Mark is amazing, man.
Holy shit sticks. Again.
He's the future, Red Sawyer, who scares the bejesus out of me. He's just so good, though, man. He's so good. Like, I can sit there and
he's so good, he got rolled out on a cart. Like, he was all like this, me, camera.
All I'm saying is, I've never seen Patrick Saint be nervous around someone. and Red Sawyer does that. So, like, that's
valid point.
That's what I'm saying.
Valid point.
You know, and that hell of a talent. And not just the test of strength, man. There's talent everywhere. Ryan Clancy is one of those guys that I think is going to be big time talent. Brad Baylor, what an upside on this kid.
He's gorgeous.
And never mind that the work, the in-ring work that this kid can produce at that age, it's amazing to me. So there's so much talent out there. House of Glory, who I consider one of the best schools on the planet, has a huge talent pool.
Yeah,
you know, Raheem Royal and Jody Arias, man, those guys, like, remember those names. Those guys are gonna be ridiculously insane. Montequilla, who was their ace, who is a good friend of mine.
Seeing where Charles Mason is now.
Yes, Charles Mason, who is another bucket list act that I will have in Test of Strength. The Crown Jewel champ beat Low Key for that belt. You know, that's an accomplishment and a half at that age, because he's young, man. Yeah. He's young and he's hungry and he gets better every day. Matter of fact, last House of Glory show, him and Alec Price tore the roof off the building. You know, so yeah, man, it's amazing to see these guys and do these roles. And back to Alec Price, you know, see him grow up. It's one of my kids. You know, to see him perform at Beyond, at Limitless, at House of Glory, at GCW. He just got back from Canada. You know, like, he's flying, he's going all over the place. Yeah. He's doing these amazing things, man. And like, my heart swells up, man. Like, I get super proud, man, because these guys are so good, and the future of this business, like, has walked in front of me, has gone through my ring, and that shit makes me so proud, man.
So you mentioned a little while back, Bell Time Club.
The Bell Time Club.
And
it's my Boston friend.
I'm sure we've talked about them before, but I want to, it's been 3 years. Bell Time Club is the sister company, promotion, if you will, of Test of Strength.
Yes.
And you did mention that you're GM of both.
Of both.
How the hell do you manage to be a GM for two promotions and keep your wits about you?
Oh, man, it's easy, man. You know, it's that Kowalski system, you know, and the fact that it's all love, you know, like, we're all really brothers. You know, it's not something that we say, you know. It's not the Hulk Hogan brother. No, like, we're really brothers, you know. And we call each other and we have dinner together, and you know, it's one of those things that even if we're not together, we're together. You know, so it's easy. It's very easy to do, and it flows. And I can honestly say I've never been overwhelmed or stressed by either situation, because when you have a mind like Wagner Brown and you have a mind like Bo Douglas and you know, me to be the filter between the two, you know, it just blends well together. We're all really good at doing that together. And then Dante Luna, and the way that he frames things, and the way that he can shoot a story, it really takes us to the next level.
Yeah, his vision's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Am I yammering too much? Are we going on and on?
We
and
can
on
keep
here?
going, man. Whatever you need.
Talk to us about the Bell Time Club, because I mean, not that you just did it, but that is where, you know, that's Alec Price's home base.
Channing Thomas
home base. Please, just a couple more.
Benny Jukes, Total Loco. Yeah, man. I mean, Bell Time is it's a Kowalski school. You know, Bo and Wagner have been friends since the 5th or 6th grade. Like, they grew up together. You know, Mama Douglas calls Wagner her son, my son Wagner, when she talks. It's hilarious.
And they got into...
and she's a firecracker, let me tell you.
And they got into Kowalski's school when they were about 15-ish, if you will, collectively, both of them.
And Kowalski wouldn't let them train.
And wouldn't let them train until they were 18.
Right. So, and then it's funny because at the end, Wagner was the head trainer of the school, and when everything went, we the Belltime Club stood the Boston home base, and Wagner came out here, and Tested Strength grew from here, and then we all got together by some mystic combination of the world, a bunch of Kowalski guys got together, because I'm a Kowalski guy too, but through Perry Saturn, and it's just fun, man.
I want to go back to Ty Shine real quick. And then I want to go to TJ Howell for a second.
Okay.
Ty Shine, first student TOS.
Yes.
That is correct, right?
That is correct.
Way back, and I seen it was a smallish room. Not that you're not in a smallish room, no. Smallish room with a garage door kind of set up. Was that correct?
Hold on, let me tell you something. An arena is just an empty room.
Okay.
So you put the artist to perform.
Okay.
Okay. So
I talk intimate setting.
So the dojo might be small and intimate, but when you walk into church and you feel the essence there, you'll understand why we create the way that we create.
And I use Tested Strength Dojo constantly. Probably this is going to be episode 354. I've probably mentioned Tested Strength on all 354 of these fucking things, I'm telling you.
Well, that's because you're one of the boys.
I use the intimacy, though,
right,
because I love that shit.
Yeah.
And I know it's up close, and I know we're a little closer sometimes, especially Foggy, because he gets fucking wrecked every time.
He doesn't ever complain, so he must like it.
We're a little too close sometimes, but the intimacy setting, because I like to ask the talent. Sometimes you're in an event, or in a venue rather, that has, 50 people. Sometimes you're at an event that has a few hundred. Sometimes you're at a Test Your Strength where, there may be 20, 30 seats with some standing room only kind of setups. And, so it's such a small, intimate setting. I don't think you can get any more intimate than where we're at Test Your Strength.
No, you can't. It's like right here. I mean, when you're filming, you're probably closer to the ring than we are to the camera right now. So. And
the reason why I bring that up is because, to the talent when I interview them, is because you would think it would be a harder or more nerve-wracking, I guess, a good way to put it, to perform in such a tight area with us.
And here's the thing. I think that makes us who we are, right? I think
juices them up.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's a like you said, it's more pressure, right? Because you're right there. You know, like there's not a buffer between y'all, so you guys can literally go out and touch them. But I think that gives us an edge over other people, because if you can work in an intimate setting like that, you can work in arena, right? It kills the butterflies for us real quick.
Okay.
Right? Like we don't have any of that stage fright. We got no room for that. Like there's nothing, we can't hide that in there. So I think that mentally prepares us better than a lot of other places. And I just think it's one of those things that makes us different than everybody else too.
TJ Howell. He was one of your first students as well.
Yes.
And we talk evolution on STP constantly.
Right.
It's me bringing it up. It's just my brain saying my curiosity, the evolution of said person.
Yes.
In their career, in their character, in their gimmick, if you will, their presentation, okay? TJ Howell. Quite a different presentation back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, TJ has grown in leaps and bounds. Hell of a talent. Always has been. Always has been great. I mean, I remember the day I fell in love with Tested Strength. Right? It was a practice match. It was TJ Howell and it was Ty Shine. And the original dojo at the time was the warehouse. And it had this leaky freaking roof. And of course it fell right into the ring. And we had the low boy back then. Okay. We had a little 14-foot low boy. And these two guys started wrestling, man. And I swear to you, on everything that I love, it was like the lights faded out, and there was a spotlight in the ring, and I was in the middle of the garden.
Really?
Just an amazing classic wrestling match, and it was it was on the fly, and it was just work, and it wasn't triple spots, and then nobody slapped their fucking leg. It was just sharp, crisp wrestling, and when I saw that, I never left. I never left.
I'm just gonna mention one, State Farm.
Oh man.
And then, TJ from State Farm, a classic. And then, I even have footage of when there, had a little black under his eye, wore a baseball cap, little purple shirt.
Yeah.
Came out with a bat.
That's when his dad bought that baseball team.
Yeah.
Ran that into the ground.
And then we saw him with...
I can't believe Tony Khan stole TJ's gimmick.
No. We seen him with Ryan Frost's Cold Cash with the... And he became kind of Shark Boy. We were, singing Shark Doo-Doo-Doo stuff at him, with the shark socks. And not that he didn't run with that. I mean, holy cow, right?
Yeah, why not?
So he started sharking it.
The guy has a yacht. Why not wear shark socks?
Those salmon shorts.
Oh, the boat shoes.
That tight-ass shirt of his. But I bring all of that up for only one reason. I'm swinging all the way back to Lone Survivor 4.
Yeah.
TJ Howell came out and was going to be on the side of the mission. It looked like Dan the Man pulled in TJ Howell, which was in a black hoodie, and you couldn't see who it was. And it seemed like Dan the Man had won over Team Front. This is post,
yes,
if you will, post-match. Dan the Man pulled him in and actually smiled a little bit, I think. And he thought he had one up on Team Frost.
Damn smile.
But then the said person that we didn't know who was under the black hoodie went over there to Team Frost.
Yeah.
And then took off his hoodie, and he was wearing a fucking Cold Cash shirt. And that was TJ Howell III.
TJ Howell.
And not only that, he convinced Ryan Frost to give him a hug. I feel bad things are coming from that in the near future. Please speak on that.
Listen,
why?
Listen.
You continue. I gotta check.
The truth is that Frosty and Howley were an amazing tag team. They were dominant. They were intense. They were good, man. They had great chemistry. And I honestly think that Frosty was the only friend that TJ ever really had. So I can understand where maybe, there was a disagreement there. You didn't look at things the same way because they're so from two completely different worlds. But, hindsight being 2020, I think TJ sat there and looked back and realized that, he was the one that messed up there and he needed to make amends.
All right.
So
there's definitely a topic we haven't touched upon because Test of Strength does not have a women's champion, but they've had a woman as their big TOS champion.
Right.
Being one Karen Bam Bam.
Karen Bam Bam.
What a queen.
Amazing.
The feathers. The
amazing. And
the whole thing.
I think Karen Bam Bam, I mean, she has a great opportunity to, if she doesn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Karen Bam Bam might be the first female ever to hold both the heavyweight championship and the women's championship of a promotion ever of all time. I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, get on it. You guys would know better than me.
Yeah, maybe we should try.
I don't think anyone's ever done that. And Karen Bam Bam, if she becomes the first Test of Strength women's champion, and she was the first woman Test of Strength champion, dude, what a moment that would be.
That would be, and I know it would be great for you guys or whatever, but it would really, we would lose our damn minds.
Dude, for her, what an accomplishment that would be. Just for women's wrestling, period, what that would mean. That's a beautiful thing, man.
And I mean, I just want to stay on that topic because she's a bigger gal, and a lot of bigger gals don't get opportunities to shine.
But you can't deny Karen Bam Bam. I mean,
no.
Like, how can Karen Bam Bam is probably the biggest personality on the planet. She's beautiful. She's intelligent in the ring. She's intense. She's powerful. She has all the tools. So why would we sit here and not give her these opportunities? And never mind. Listen, I take that back. We never gave Karen Bam Bam shit.
She earned them.
She wanted it. She came and got it. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
You know? And if you don't believe me, ask Dan the man's jaw.
Now, I only bring that up because, you know, that body doesn't, you know, perceive a certain something in the sport under women's wrestling, if you will, or in wrestling in general.
Right.
So seeing her in a test of strength was phenomenal for us, period.
Yes.
But then we see her become champion. Are you kidding me? We took that ride with her.
Yeah, what an amazing reign. You know, like, she was so good, man. And she was unstoppable. I mean, everybody I threw at her, she ran through, you know. Like, it took two guys and a really, really, like, tough match with an injury that she occurred during the match, because I remember she busted herself open.
Yes.
It was tough, man, for her to lose that, and I'm so super proud of her, man. A hell of a champion. Every promoter out there, if you got a chance to book Karen Bam Bam, you book Karen Bam Bam if you want your product to uplift and be better than it was, because she's an amazing champion.
Presentation.
Yes.
Coming through that curtain and her personality,
her gear, her music, her smile, like everything, man. It's electric, man.
The vibe of Karen Bam Bam.
Yes, she is a vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
You know, and then you get her in ring, and she takes care of business, if you will.
And then and then the height, the entrance, the energy. Once the bell ring, it goes up. It goes up, man, and she delivers. You know, she's like UPS, bro. She's delivering. You know what I mean?
That brings us to the tournament. For what we've already spoken on, the TOS Women's Championship here. So there is a tournament set up, and this doesn't go through training day. It's gonna start at Dear Normal, or how are you setting this up?
It just started.
Lone Survivor
at Lone Survivor, and we had our first 2 matches. We have another 2 at Dear Norma.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go from there. The finals will take place at Fight for Your Dreams.
Okay, gotcha. So that'll be the culmination where we see the first women's champion to be crowned.
At Fight for Your Dreams. Okay. The GMS will present the winner with the Test of Strength Women's title.
I love that you said that. I love me some Cece. She is.
It's my baby girl.
A star.
Yes, superstar.
You know, when we talk about wrestlers coming through the curtain,
I talk about how it felt to put the belt on Wagner. I can't wait to put the belt on Cece. Like, I can't wait for that to happen. Like, I feel bad for you chicks, but my knees are gonna beat the brakes out of all of y'all.
And I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask that, because I want to be surprised to see if this happens. CC, the GMS?
The GMS.
Okay.
ESS.
Yeah. What a star. We talk about, when I interview the wrestlers, the talent, if you will, we talk about coming through that curtain and giving us the signals. Good guy, bad guy. What are we supposed to do? Okay. Right. But also, visually, when we see you through that curtain, just like Karen Bam Bam as an example, presentation.
Oh, Cece has star power, man. She's so
we always
charismatic.
Talk about star.
She's got this electric smile. You know, she's a captivating person. She's an intriguing person. Like, you know how people say, you know, oh, you've got it, or they have it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, she has it. She has it, bro. She has it. She can't give it away. She can't sell it. It's hers. You know, she is her.
Now she's running the women's division, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, she is in charge of the Test of Strength Women's division.
I wasn't going to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Would we because we see you when a championship presentation time, you put her on the waist of the champion and stuff. Would maybe the GMS be...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yep, for sure. She's definitely going to do that.
Okay. I can't wait to see that go down. So that'll be Fight for Dream 6.
Fight for Your Dream 6.
Do you know where that's being hosted at this time, by chance?
You know, off the top of my head, I can't remember.
I know you got a lot of shit going on.
I got so many shows. We're still working out the kinks for Fenway. So, you know, I got one thing at a time right now. But that is going to be in September. You know, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. You're a guy who wears many hats. You're the GM of 2 companies.
Right.
So you're keeping a schedule, venues, matches,
right.
Stuff like that. All of it, what it takes to pull off an event.
Right.
You know, you kind of wearing those hats, but you're also wearing the hats of. Excuse me. You're also wearing a hat. Oh shit! Where was I going with that? Because you wear so many damn hats. Oh, you the merch.
Yes. I design 75% of the merch because my son Jeter does a lot of it too. So we have the company, Heel Shit Apparel. We do all the marketing for Test the Strength. I do merch for all the boys and a bunch of other boys that aren't with us, that are other places. I have relationships with people all over the place. Like, Low Key is somebody that I do merchandise for, who's an HS guy. The tracksuits, like I'm wearing one today. I took my jacket off because it's hot in here. But the tracksuits are huge, and the boys support them. We have a great collab with the #1 dojo, HSX Ichiban is a big thing. And the boys at Beyond, the fans up there are really eating it up and supporting it. I'm so grateful. Thank you to all of y'all for that. The Miracle Jet, I design a lot of the gear that the guys wear in the ring. Tights, singlets, masks, whatever. So it's a lot going on at the same time, and at the same time, it's just so much fun, man. So much fun.
We were talking championships, titles. The uniqueness.
I do those too.
Visually, you're the designer.
I'm the designer
of the TOS,
and I've got to make some amazing belts for other companies as well.
And WWE specifically, can we talk about that real quick?
And WWE, I did all their belts.
That was some pretty cool shit when Mr. Allen started presenting new championships.
Yes.
I mean, because I've known you, I'm like, I know who did that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you realized that. Thank you. I try to make my designs and the quality of our work stand out. You pick up an HS title and it's heavy. It's the leather's quality. The engraving is bold. The colors pop. I make sure that there's a lot of love in what I do, and if I don't love it, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the beauty about being able to do it for yourself. It's like, if I don't want to do that, I won't do it. And I don't like to half-ass anything, So ACW, I've done belts for. My favorite set of belts that I did outside of our belts, because of course, SCW, Survival Championship Wrestling.
Elbow and collar.
The collar and elbow.
The collar and elbow. That thing is cool.
Yes, Mike Skyrose has that on his mantle, a beautiful title.
Not to take away from the heavyweight championship.
The heavyweight title is one of my favorite designs of all time. It's so big and bold, and the dragons stick out, and so intimate. And I don't think you got to see their tag team belts. But
I have not.
But their tag team belts were amazing. I took inspiration from the old Intercontinental title.
Okay.
The way that the plates were round, and wide instead of tall. So I did that, but I turned them into battle axes.
Oh, all right.
And then I put dragons and tigers in them, and it was really cool, man. It was one of my blue straps, silver plates, really pretty belt.
Everybody has a nickname around you, pretty much. Like, literally, I think everyone has a nickname.
If I don't give you a nickname, I don't like you. Sorry, it's just how it goes, King Caddy.
I just went through this with, who the hell was it? Yes, and now I remember. One Edric Cash. Not too long ago, just a couple days back on STP.
Hey, E, I'm sorry, man. He gave me your garlic knots. The munchies hit, they gone, bro.
Hashtag no knots for cash. Now, he...
I'll beat you up.
He started saying something. We were in conversation, and it brought a thing to memory, because my boss, and he's a dear friend of mine, Jim. I've known for almost 20 years now at this point. Drummer of mine from High Octane.
Okay.
Back in the jam days.
That's awesome.
He still calls me fucking King Caddy.
That's work. Hilarious. That's hilarious.
If I'm up, or just in general, he'll yell fucking
King Caddy.
King Caddy.
That's hilarious.
And it's sticking with him
That's
forever.
Hilarious. So do we need King Caddy merch?
And ever. I mean, hey.
You're due for an HS shirt.
Dude, because I'm telling you, Joey, I had I had the Frost Force all fucked up because remember the picture of me looking all sad?
Mm-hmm.
And it has the Howell Enterprises logo over it, and it's me, Ref Mark, and no, it was Ken Caddy, which I'm supposed to be Caddy 3. That's what TJ Howell says. F Caddy 3.
I named him Ken Caddy.
And then Caddy 2 being Ref Mark. And then Caddy 1, the OG, if you will, being Caddy. Tucker.
Yes. I miss Tuck, man. Dude, I love you, bro.
Dude, when Ryan Frost would push him,
God.
Some of the most classic TOS moments.
Ryan Frost is an asshole for that.
Dude.
Tucker is like, for y'all that don't know Tucker is the only person on the planet skinnier than Don Kincaid. And Frosty would shove him, and he would fly 40 feet at 100 miles an hour and crash into the turnbuckle.
Or
go through the ropes. I'm pretty sure he landed on Foggy a couple times.
That is some of the funniest shit in wrestling that I've ever seen. Oh, I absolutely.
And that was back when Frosty had the baby arms. Before Big Jim turned him into a monster.
Yeah, no shit. And I absolutely hated Ryan Frost, but man, that would tickle me something. Oh my God. Not just me. Oh God, we love that shit.
I remember.
Good stuff.
I remember Tucker's first match out there with TJ. TJ was gonna do a dive off the top. And he got scared, so he made Tucker do the dive. He made Tucker jump off, and it was one of the greatest things I ever seen.
Oh, man. Oh, good times. Caddies. Yeah, I totally confused the Frost Force with that picture of the 3 caddies, let me tell you.
Yeah, no, the Frost Force is a newer part of the Test of Strength mythos, but thank you guys, man. We love you and appreciate you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good group of guys.
If you ever make a...
Terry's my favorite, Joey. I don't care.
If you ever make a fucking Kincaddy shirt, my boss will probably be the first one.
Kincaddy shirts will be available at Dear Norma.
Shut up.
They're gonna be available. Walk up to the heel shit table and ask for yours. Pre-order today to guarantee your size. We can do small to 6X. All right, reach out. Kincaddy shirts are coming. Oh man,
we've been shooting this shit for a while. I don't even know how long. I didn't even.
That's the problem with doing this. We never know when to stop.
No, and I was just looking at battery function. I'm still.
Yeah.
I mean, I still got plenty. I was looking at, as long as we're still rolling and we got battery function.
Shoot, I think the last one we did, we had to split it into 2 episodes, didn't we?
Yeah, but I don't do that no more.
It was long.
Yeah, if you don't have 4 hours, fuck you. I don't care. Fuck it.
Cool.
Then don't watch 4 hours.
Don't watch 4 hours.
Then watch the first hour and say screw you assholes. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I talked to a fucking plastic doll to Dan and the likeness, the facsimile of Dan the Man for 2.5 hours.
That's crazy. Yeah, you
fuck.
You need a therapist.
Jesus. Yeah. You fucking kidding me?
Something wrong with you, Kincaid.
We've been going in the past, bringing up some, but related to the present time, though. You see what we did, though?
Yeah, no,
we took a lot of the past and it was very present related,
We touched on a lot of things real quick before.
A lot of stuff, yeah. Is there anything?
Yeah, real quick. Because I don't think we ever got to sit down and talk about the Big Jim Memorial Show. We didn't get to talk about Don't Spill the Whiskey.
See, that's all of those things.
It's been so long.
Yes.
Yeah. But I want to say thank you to everyone who attended. Whether you bought a ticket, whether you were one of Boys in the Back, whether you watched Kincaid's footage, however it is that you celebrated that night with us. I want to thank you, and I want to tell you that I love you from the bottom of my heart, because that was a very special moment in time, and it's one that I hope to repeat again. I honestly would like to do a Big Jim appreciation show every year if I possibly could.
Oh wow.
So there's something that needs to be talked about, and I need to reach out to the appropriate parties before I proceed, but it's something that I want to do. And I want to thank y'all for being there, and just giving us your energy and your time and your love, because as much as I talked about December and what it meant to me, that was great, but that was even more so. It was more important because it wasn't about me. It was about somebody that I loved and cared for dearly. A friend of mine that we were in the car with, and we cracked jokes with, and we shared laughs with, and we'd be upset about things together. You know what I mean? So it was it was more special. It was more special. And you talk about Kylon and Flash and all of that. Those kids were there, man, and they tore the roof off that building. And to this day, when they come out and I hear my friend's voice, you know what I mean? Like my heart just swells up. So. Thank you for that. I just wanted to say that.
That was 9 different promotions.
Yes.
That came together.
Yes. What a beautiful thing, right?
And so, in the environment over the past few years, yes, it was.
He brought the world together.
It was pretty wild to see.
Yeah, I never thought I would see that.
Hey, Kincaid, we've got this really special thing coming up. It's going to be for Big Jim. We'll give you some details, but the only thing that you need to know is you're going to be working with Matt DeCourt as a special guest ring announcer alongside of Matt DeCourt. Big Jim would want it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me right now? That was something.
That was such a cool thing.
That was something.
Oh man, that was so much fun.
Jay Bricks.
Yes.
And I've only described this twice, and I'm going to do it for a third time. Boys and girls, I do not think you realize how big, when you're sitting outside that ring, how big it looks and how big it perceives and how it looks almost like a city block.
Right.
Once you get in there, still kind of looks the same. But when you get a pissed off Jay Bricks because you just went blah, 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 or some shit during his name, let me fucking tell you, him getting in the ring and me hitting the turnbuckle way too quick, and I had nowhere to go, that ring was as big as this table.
Yeah, no, it got small real quick.
Real quick when you got Jay Bricks all up on you.
There's a lot of Jay Bricks. That's a big man.
All up on you.
It's a big boy.
And I don't take a whole lot of room in that ring.
Kincaid might be skinnier than the ropes.
But that show was, the event, it was absolutely warm to the heart. And there was a lot of emotions, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of hugging, a lot of everything that day, a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
And a lot of good stuff along with it because we were all there for specific reasons.
Yeah, it was great, man. Super good.
I just can't believe that,
What we defended, was it 9 championships that night?
It was a ton, dude.
Yeah, man, it was big.
All right. The next time you do this, you've got to give Mr. DeCourt is a consummate ring announcer.
Oh man,
he would never ever come to anybody in the business and even ask something like this remotely. I'm gonna do it. This guy, the reigning, defending PAPW U.S. heavyweight or U.S. champion, the reigning, defending TOS, the reigning, defending NWWE, the reigning. He can only say that so many times for one person. Never mind the entire event. Yeah. You blew my man at the court,
of course,
out of the water.
No one else could have done that.
Oh my God! It was like these big gigantic long run-on sentences.
It was amazing. A lot of accolades there. A lot of indie stars came out and celebrated our brother, man. That was really, really, really powerful, real dope. I'll never forget it.
Good times, a lot of love.
Yes.
And that's all it was for.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. To celebrate Big Jim as we did in the wrestling way.
Right.
GM, holy shit sticks, we have been... Again, we could just keep going on and on.
Listen, I'll be back.
I swear I won't make it 3 years. I apologize.
Hey, listen, man. We'll actually do a Brass City Devils one, maybe me and Frost together. It'll be fun.
Ooh.
Switch it up a little bit.
Oh, that seems a little interesting.
That'll be fun.
GM, you've sat down and you've been open to everything with a little bit of life, with a lot of bit of wrestling. We were, as they say, putting over the talent. And there's one before. I would digress if I did not.
Okay.
We haven't spoken about, and I don't even want to say his name, but I have to. Got to give him a little something. The Snapple God. All right, I'll do it right. The Grapple God.
Grapple God.
GAWD. The Grapple God. Jordan Rowe. We have not spoken, and I know I've mentioned maybe, and if I have not, how not? Again, one of these kids that are absolute money. That's a star.
Oh man.
And such.
He's got this raw potential. I don't think on the mat there's a wrestler on the planet besides maybe Thomas Santel that can go with him.
Oh wow!
On the mat.
Holy shit!
He's so good, so technically sound, so smart in both the amateur Olympic style of wrestling and the catch as catch can pro wrestling.
Okay.
Such a student of the game, and I mean it's hard to argue with him. It's hard to argue. Like he'll tell you he's the greatest thing going, and he's not really lying. Prove him wrong.
He's good.
He's super good, super good, and he's another guy who's like grown leaps and bounds.
Absolutely.
He was just a PvP tag team champion with Brad Hollister. As the new closers. Hell of a team.
Yeah.
Hell of a team. Like, how do you stop that?
That was good. That was very surprising for me as a fan.
That's why you got to give the Miracle Gen their props, man. Like, how do you go against that?
Jordan and Bacon.
Yeah, like that's it's crazy. That's like beating Jordan and Pippen, 2-on-2. Like that's crazy. So, yeah, man, these guys are insane. So, yeah, Jordan is so good, and every time I see him wrestle, I see something new. And he's really, really like perfected that STF, that he calls the logo lock. And once that thing is locked on, man, I don't care how good you are, like you're not getting out of that. So and that's the thing, he's got so many other like tricks in his bag.
Yeah. I can't even imagine
the logo lock's just like one of his favorites.
And at his age, the potential is just it's insane.
10 years from now, he's in another stratosphere.
Oh yeah.
No, he's
with a strap somewhere on TV.
I honestly think that
like a face of.
I think he's the Bret Hart of his generation.
Yeah, he's definitely a face of somewhere.
He's insane.
Man.
Yeah.
I might have to delete that from me, but not from him. I did, again, we could go on and on about all the talents, and I'm not trying to slight or if I forgot or whatever.
You guys know what it is.
And this wasn't even a list of, hey, let's talk about. This was just like we started shooting the shit and we started talking talent.
This is just the Chiba freestyle.
All of the information, all of the beautiful love from some of the events we've spoken of, from the tragedies of seeing Del Jabroni get his face ripped off.
Right.
To many, TOS has given me more memories than I think anything in my lifetime right now, to be honest with you.
It's been a hell of a roller coaster ride. You said that. My highest of highs, my lowest of lows have happened here. I'll never forget that feeling in the pit of my stomach when I had to put the belt around the waist of Dan the Man. Like honestly, I thought I was going to walk away from the business after that.
Horrible.
But then, my son who's like my guiding light. It's funny, he's like, Dad, you gonna quit now? You're just gonna let him take everything you guys built?
That's
he just
true.
put that battery in my back, and it became my mission to make the Man's like title reign the most difficult one of all time. And I sent Animal and Killer after him, and he went through them all, and Karen Bam Bam,
that was cool.
Queen Bam Bam, the Queen Champ, she did it.
Or did we lose our shit?
Oh man, what a beautiful moment in history.
Yeah, we definitely love that one.
And then all of a sudden, every other company had a female champ. But anyway, it's not the first time they rip us. It won't be the last. I'm looking at you, Tony Khan, you piece of shit.
Oh wow. Now Karen Bam Bam versus Dan the Man, the rematch when Karen was champion. That's the highest viewed video I have on my channel right now.
Yeah.
And I don't really I don't poke at numbers often.
Right.
But I just did highest viewed and went down that way.
Mm-hmm.
Dan the Man versus Karen Bam Bam at Riders, September 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Being, I would imagine, a fight for your dream. Being in September.
Yeah, fight for your dreams.
3 million views.
3 million views.
It just cracked 3 million views.
That's
on my effing channel.
That's amazing, bro. I'm happy
Are
for
you
I'm
kidding
happy
me?
for them. I'm happy for the business.
What the F?
That's great.
That was
And I think he did similar numbers on Foggy's feed too.
Oh, Foggy's got crazy numbers.
Yeah.
He's got 450 fucking thousand subscribers.
But I mean, I think that it was one of his biggest videos too.
Oh yeah.
He was telling me. So,
yeah, I mean, Foggy's numbers are off the chain.
Yeah.
But when I'm seeing him, like that, and again, it's just one. But you know what? That fills my heart because now, again, as we were saying, the spotlight, 3 million views on just that match.
Yeah.
Saw Karen Bam Bam, saw Dan the Man, saw the TOS Championship,
Right.
saw the TOS fans, saw the TOS brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all part of why we do.
No, for sure.
Fucking stirring the pot.
For sure, man. And that's amazing. And that's why I thanked you. The first thing I wanted to do was thank you because, number one, you don't owe us anything. You do this for us, and it's the opposite around. Like, we actually owe you, and we're all grateful for it. We love you, man, and we talk about that, So like this goes out to all of you, Like, this man is wrestling royalty, and if it ever gets to the point where we need to see you, we'll see you.
Right.
So be easy with Don Kincaid,
Oh, wow.
We love you, brother. We appreciate you, and again, thank you for your time. More important than this to me is thank you for your friendship.
Absolutely.
I love you, man.
Absolutely.
For all the years.
Love you too, brother.
And it's been a hell of a roller coaster, and let's make sure it never stops.
All
right.
We started with the love. He hit me out of nowhere with that at the beginning, and we ended.
Always.
We ended the same way.
It's all love. Heels need love too, baby.
It's been a fine session. This may be 2-hour run. I don't know.
It was good. Let me send it home.
You know what? Because I'm at a loss for words.
Let me send it home.
You do that.
This has been Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid. Now I'm gonna be smoking the pot with Don Kincaid. See y'all later.